Her name is Kelly Ferris. We first crossed paths on December 21st, 2010, although I didn't know it at the time. It was a momentous occasion, historical even, and not just for my burgeoning sexual desires. It was on this December date nearly 5 years ago that the UConn women's basketball team won its 89th straight game. And if that seems like a lot, it's because it is. In addition to being a record for both men's and women's basketball, the streak, which made it all the way to 90 before ending at the hands of the Stanford Cardinal, which is just the most ridiculous of mascots. Who wants one cardinal as a mascot? That is not intimidating. The 90-game win streak also greatly outpaces any other streak in all of collegiate and professional sports. So yeah, it's a pretty big deal, especially to a UConn fan. And if you're a female loving basketball and in Connecticut, you are a UConn fan. It's in the bylaws. My childhood heroes were current WNBA players and former UConn standouts Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi. I modeled my own style of play. Attempted to model my own style of play after Sue Bird. She was a 3-time best in the nation point guard with a knack for hitting clutch shots. Diana Taurasi, on the other hand, was a bit too ostentatious for my taste, like a fire baton twirler. Totally very entertaining to watch and is quite possibly the greatest player in the game. Actually, according to a recent ESPNW poll, she is the greatest women's basketball player ever, but I'm much more low-key, so Sue Bird was always my go-to. Together, they won a national championship at UConn, and Taurasi followed that win up with 2 more in her subsequent seasons playing for the Huskies. If you've been following along with my story, one thing must be clear. UConn is fucking boss. We win. A lot. Yes, I said we, even though I have no actual affiliation with the team. You might be wondering, does it ever get tiring watching your team pound on the competition game after game? No. It does not. I grew up in a New York Jets household, so I know what it is to back a losing horse, and trust me, it is so much better when your team wins. But I digress. As for the win of December 21st, 2010, it was euphoric for that very small subset of people who call themselves women's basketball fans. Nobody else in the population seemed to give a crap or to know what the hell it was, but for me it was a special day. See, I was home for winter break from my sophomore year of college, and I'm ashamed to admit I had let my UConn fandom go a bit lax. I hadn't seen a single game in 2 years. I got all caught up in the hustle bustle of making new friends during welcome week at Northwestern, and then spending all of my time that I wasn't in class freshman year hanging out with those friends. And then sophomore year, I was too busy watching idly as all of those relationships disintegrated before my eyes that I forgot to keep up with my own interests. And so, with the exception of this one game, I missed the entirety of UConn's historic 90-game win streak. And I carry that around with me. Alas, I did catch that most historic of games, and while the announcers spent most of their time touting the impending update to the record books, and the main player to whom they showered responsibility for the streak, dubbed Magnificent Maya, and yes, she is magnificent. Maya Moore would go on to be the #1 pick in the 2011 WNBA draft as a former league MVP, and I must say, it's just so pretty to watch play. My interests would come to life with another player on that most auspicious of squads. Kelly. Kelly Ferris was too a sophomore in college that year, and this night, cold, wintry night, immediately following a particularly heavy blizzard in Connecticut. Not that that in any way affected the game. Basketball is played indoors, weather is rarely an issue. The first time I ever watched her play basketball, but I failed to notice her. I was overcome by the excitement and the revelry of our 93-62 destruction of Florida State. And frankly, still a little too caught up in my own shit to notice what was right in front of me. My future wife. I wouldn't watch another UConn game for 2 more years as life once again got in the way, but all things happen for a reason. And I think I needed Kelly to come into my life at a time when I was ready to accept her. And that simply was not the case in 2010. My senior year of college, I spent mostly in self-imposed solitary confinement, but it was good. I got back to the things that made me happy, like watching copious amounts of television, avoiding all forms of reality, and UConn women's basketball. I had a TV in my apartment and cable, so I could now watch live sporting events from the comfort of my own futon. And so it happened. It was a Monday night. I was channel surfing when I happened upon the strangest thing on ESPN2, an actual broadcast of a women's basketball game. It was the final game of the regular season between UConn and biggest rival Notre Dame. It ended up being a thrilling triple overtime extravaganza in which we did lose. It was an off year. We lost 4 games. Let's all take a moment to mourn. Reinvigorated by passion for the games. When the NCAA tournament started, and what they call March Madness, the most important games of which take place during the month of April, you bet your ass for every game. And guess what? Yes, even in our off year, we won the national championship. It was glorious. One player on the team in particular struck my fancy. Once again, the announcers overlooked her in favor of flashier freshman phenom Brianna Stewart. She was Kelly Ferris, and there was just something about her. Her blue-collar work ethic. Her team attitude. Her grit. Her willingness to sacrifice her body for every stray ball. Her layers of super sexy upper arm muscles. How is it truly been trying to attract a person to another? Is it pheromones? Is it intuition? Is it super sexy? Something in me was awakened. Is as follows. I was keeping a journal senior year in which I made quite the revealing proclamation. April 30th, 2013, 3 weeks after the national championship game. Journal, I think I might be gay. Anyway, later. The next day, when I realized I dropped a pretty big bomb on you yesterday. I wrote to my journal as if it were an actual human being, in a way that I would never speak to an actual human being. And although my journal and I would continue to discuss it, was another year before I would officially come out, but the seed was planted. I have Kelly Ferris to thank. I began a journey of self-discovery, leading to one conclusion. One of these days, Kelly Ferris and I are going to meet, and we are going to fall in love. And here is how I know. Kelly went to UConn, which is the University of Connecticut. I am from Connecticut and know many people who went to UConn. Not personally sure, but they also attended the high school from which I graduated, and therefore we have a connection. Isn't that not how networking works? To whom I am tangentially related, attended the same university as Kelly Ferris. At the same time, I mean, the chances that one of those people and Kelly Ferris met, had class together, passed each other on campus one time, exist. And so, introductions can be made. Kelly Ferris and I could meet in the world as human beings, equals, and not as obsessed fan looking for autograph, an object of said obsession, looking to get out of situation as quickly as possible. Now, as for the falling in love part, based on my research, Kelly Ferris is 5 feet, 11 inches tall. Okay, so height might be an issue, but greater obstacles have been overcome. Originally from Indiana, where she attended Christian evangelical school. Religion could become problematic, but I feel like we could totally put that off until the point if and when we want kids. She's won 2 national championships. I once received a Miss Station trophy, which basically means best effort. You tried really hard, but you still suck at basketball camp. We're the same age. That's a fact. Molly scored 1,000 points in her collegiate career. I scored in one game of my basketball playing career. I scored 6 points on 2 3/4 in that game, okay? She has a tendency to say that type of thing as if it serves as some kind of explanation at the end of sentences when being interviewed. I tend to notice people's speech patterns and that type of thing. She has kind of a lazy eye seems to come from a pretty traditional family. Not that that means she couldn't or wouldn't be gay, but I combed through a great deal of footage during my research. And it just doesn't appear to be the case. That said, she is a professional women's basketball player. It's